Welcome to the Lone Machinist podcast, where it's just you, your machine, and the work. I'm Jamie from JSpec Engineering, and today we've got Curt as usual, as well as Noddy from Noddy's Performance Parts, or Noddy Performance. He makes jet ski things, and it's really cool. So, how are you guys doing today?
I'm
Oh
good.
yeah,
How are you?
There we
say
go.
this is going to be like a game of like all talking over each other because I think we're all on three opposite sides of the world. So I appreciate you making time for us. But yeah, I'm super excited to get to chat with you. If people haven't looked you up, go find his Instagram because you're doing
There will
some
be a link.
super cool work on a very small mill, and like I wouldn't have expected you can make half the things that you're making on that. So that blows my mind, and there's questions that are going to relate to that. So but
It
yeah, if
might
you
be a
want to.
little bit of a little bit of too dumb to say no to the job, and smart enough to figure it out as I go.
It's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, like, I mean, you can cover as much of your story as you want here. So, what is Naughty Performance? And yeah, tell us about you. Tell us about your wares.
Pretty much, I had started just fixing jet skis. It was just an obsession to go jet skiing myself, and this is free ride jet skiing, so not like you sit down skis. Go out and stand ups, go out and surf, do flips and rolls, and
Yeah.
break a lot of stuff. So I'd actually gotten a job overseas, and I'd actually gone and I was in China. So I was like, oh, this is, I can sort of start manufacturing. And I started just doing design and getting it all made there. And pretty much I was doing a little bit, and I was just sort of getting issues with the likes of like, they weren't doing to the quality I wanted. So
Okay.
then I had gotten, through COVID, it got even harder. I couldn't get the stuff even made, let alone to the quality I wanted. So I thought,
Mhm.
I'll buy my own manual mill, manual lathe, and I'll be able to do the prototyping, get it to the standard I want, and then send them a picture or whatever. Like, this is what I really want you to do. And what a little Opti mill converted CNC will come up for
Yeah.
sale. I'm like, I'll
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
get that. And then that pretty much turned everything into, I can make this all myself. I don't need to outsource anything. And then it sort of all just turned on its heads to just try and make everything I can. And yeah, do it on a machine I probably shouldn't be doing it on.
Oh, it's so you're passionate, obviously, about jet skiing, and like, were you making these parts for yourself initially, or were you making them for sale, or?
Yeah, pretty much every product that I've had has started from the need that I have needed that part to start with. Or
Okay.
I've just got some mates that are like, I need this part, and they can't get it otherwise, or it's really expensive made by somebody else. So I've been able to work out ways to make it a bit cheaper and sort of and within Australia too is getting everything from outside the country. So being able to make everything in Australia is really to support our sport within the country. And now we're sort of
Right.
starting to ship a bit more and more. Just sort of started getting bigger and bigger in the US, and then we get hit with tariffs.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was interested too. I'm like, how much of your market is local and how much of your market is worldwide? Because I mean, some of your products would lend well to shipping across the world, and some of them, like your hyper engine that you're making, or like the block for it, like I imagine that would be a little annoying to ship across the world.
Yeah, I haven't quite got the right quotes for it yet on how much it's going to cost to ship. But the silly thing is, the crankshafts are like made in Taiwan, so we're shipping the crank from Taiwan into Australia and then shipping
Right.
it out. So sort of in the end, long run, it would probably actually ship the motors out in pieces because in
Okay.
America and Europe, they're going to have the crankshaft already and they can just build the engine themselves. And the motor was built around using Honda CR500 pistons that aren't
Okay.
modified, so you can get them all over the world as well. So
Oh,
I've only got to
cool.
send
Cool.
some of the parts out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was like surprised how compact that is, but I'm like, I guess jet ski, like you're trying to make everything as
Yeah,
light and as small as you can, especially for the type of skiing you're doing or whatever the correct
yeah. They're
terminology is.
virtually the size. The skis are virtually the size of a surfboard, a
Yeah,
small
it's insane.
surfboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wild. Yeah. That's so cool. So you mentioned that you converted your little Optimill or like basically a little benchtop machine. Um,
I
were you
had
using?
bought it converted. Yeah,
Oh,
so it just
okay.
popped up. I wasn't even looking for a CNC. I
Oh,
had been
perfect.
running. I was actually had a job running a CNC router at the time, and I was just doing plastic and foam, basic stuff. And I was like, God, yeah, CNC milling can't be that hard.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Same thing we all think. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So did you do any, like, did you do production on that, or was that just primarily just at the start to try to solve your supply chain issues you were encountering,
Yeah,
or
it
just
was
for like
sort of,
prototyping?
yeah, at this point, sort of didn't even really have a product line. I'd been attempting to get it going, and I'd been making parts, and I'd made this flyboard part, and that was the one that sort of took off, but that was sort of dwindling out, and I'd had a few jet ski parts made, and it was all prototype stuff, and nothing really took off well. Every time I go, like I might get a good prototype and might get some sales as I do the production run. The whole production run was a failure. I've even got boxes in my shed from 8 years ago that I just never opened them because opened the first box up, all these parts are bad, and just never opened the second box and just put them away and they're still there. But
Gotcha.
it didn't have a tool changer, so it was the same sort of thing. The CNC router I was running didn't have a tool changer, so it had a tool measurer. You change the tool out, it did the measurement, and you keep going. It was all easy. Whereas this was now I'm trying to run up, alloy parts. Don't really understand how I'm meant to be touching tools off or anything properly manually. So I was working all that out. I ended up going putting that the Tormac tool system on it, like getting the tool holders and doing that way. The silly thing is that mill cost me $7,000. The very first job that I went to do on it and learn all this was $9,000. It was like uprights for a Cobra kit car. So there's
Okay.
a full aluminium that holds the wheel and everything on the car. And I'm doing straight away. It doesn't fit on the machine to start with. So very first job, I think I'd done like a little practice run on some stainless, and that was sort of a failure. Sort of like I think I did another alloy part, and then I did like one of my steering systems, and then it was onto this job. It was like very first job was more than the machine cost, and I think it was about $3,000 an alloy, and I had to buy an end mill that was like $400 this end mill. It was like 125 mil stick out. I'm like, yeah, that'd be right, and just just had no idea what I was doing.
That's the general rule of thumb. You buy a machine, the first job you get is bigger than your machine's travels.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's always the case.
Oh, but that'd be rough on a bench top. So you were abusing the size limits of your machines right from the jump.
So it went through 4 or 5 sets of brushes in the motor because it was running that hard, like just constantly cutting. It was probably 40 hours of cutting on this machine, and I replaced the spindle motor and the brushes in it, and like just continuously just replacing it. Had the fan blowing out it constantly, and I just got like the first time I burnt it out, it sort of like smelled like it was going to catch on fire. Then it sort of seized. Then I broke it all free and got it going again. I just figured out I could watch the temperature on the spindle motor, and it would sort of hang around. I think I could get up to about 70 degrees, and you get about a few hours out of it at 70 degrees. The moment it hit 80, I knew I had to stop the machine and let it. I would just pause the cutting and let it spin and keep the airflow, get it back down to 70 degrees, and then go again. Because at about 85, the brushes burn up. So just figured out the hard way, and then I started having issues with it was losing steps, and then I also even the ball screw like the coupler, the grub screws holding to the shaft, they come loose at 1.2. There's just all these things went wrong, and the job ended up coming out of it. I finished the job without any. It was all happening when it was roughing, so I was able to finish the job still. It's two of the same billets, and it was same thing. Coolant getting up into y-axis motor, and that was causing issues on the encoder. So while the machine is still powered up, so I could try and maintain the coordinates, I'm pulling the encoder apart and cleaning the encoder on the front of the machine, putting it back together again, and just figuring it out as I go, really.
Well, it's just that's intense. Like that's struggle busing the whole way through, and like that's one of the first jobs you picked up on it. That's intense.
Yeah. And I literally quit my full-time job to go because I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a machine now and it's going to make me money. And it's like that. This was
Oh
the
man.
first month was that just constantly fighting this machine. And then
Wow.
after that job had gone, I started, actually making parts for myself, and that actually was working because I learned
Right.
all these things about the machine, how to pull it apart in pieces without moving anything, and it was just slowly working out how to make things to the accuracy I needed.
Sure. Yeah. I'm impressed. You. So that's when you jumped ship from your full time job into this was.
The first time, yes.
So you added that stress to the equation as
This
well.
is the third run at going full time. So
Oh,
this
right on.
time it
Okay.
stuck, but yeah, went two other times, went full time, and then had to go back to work again.
Oh, I mean that's a
Actually, no,
good way to learn.
that was the second time. Second time with the mill, with
Okay.
that start. Yeah,
And that was always like you were always going towards like the same business plan, I should say, like the same products. You weren't like branching
it
off into
was.
something
It's
crazy, selling
always
hot dogs or
been.
something.
Yeah, it's always been around jet skis. Just the
Okay, yeah.
first time I sort of finished up in China and moved back to Australia to build the actual hull, so all the fiberglass. So I'd
Okay.
done all the molds and everything and sort of made the first hull. And it was sort of, I knew right when I'd finished the prototype, I had 3 lined up to sell. If they didn't take them, I knew I had to go get a job. I was running out of the savings from finishing up doing the full-time shows. And then it was, yeah, pretty much I just went back, got a job, bounced around a few different jobs for a bit, and then bought the mill, went full-time again. And then we had bought a block, built a shed to put it all in as well. And then we needed to build a house. So it was, I had to get back to full time work to build a house because the banks don't like when you work for yourself.
Yeah, no, yeah, fair, totally, yeah. That's
So
intense. Like, yeah.
you're making the jet ski hull and all, like ground up. You're building jet skis.
Yeah. So the only thing I haven't really built and successfully built is probably the electrics
Okay.
uh, and the drive shaft.
No, that's
That's about it. Pretty much everything else I've
so you've
made.
made the impellers. You've made all the fun
Yeah,
stuff.
I haven't made the impeller, but I have
Okay.
plans to make the impeller.
Nice. Well, you've got a
It's
fourth
just
axis.
yeah,
Yeah. Like, you can
should
always
be
lean it
possible.
over.
Yeah, I'll
But
figure a way out. Don't worry.
yeah, no,
Well,
like
I definitely.
some of the stuff you're doing on that X3 is insane. I've been following you since that. Sorry, X5. Since the X5 came out, I've been following your Instagram
Yeah,
channel like,
I
since it
pretty
just
much
came out because you're one of the first to get one.
I bought one of the first ones. Tried to buy a single phase, got sent a 3-phase.
Ah,
Oh.
So that was the first drama.
yeah. So are you running on
And
a
that
phase converter, or what are you?
I was, but
Uh,
I'd ordered the machine as a single phase and ordered with the LNC because that was how it was advertised.
yeah.
But it's only the controller itself that is actually single phase. All the drives and everything was still 3-phase. It was a 3-phase machine. So I'd been waiting. I ordered and waited 6 months to get the machine. It shows up. I've taken time off work because I was full time at the time
Yeah.
to pretty much go grab it, put it in my shed, and hook it all up. And I've like looking at the thing that says 380 volts on the back of it. I'm like, this is not single phase.
Oh
So
no.
pretty much they were like, "Oh, you didn't order a phase changer?" I'm like, "No, I didn't know I needed a phase changer. I ordered a single phase machine." So I don't really know what the drama there was. If they just sort of ditched the single phase after I'd ordered it, or they forgot to tell me that I needed the phase changer. But it just happened to so at the same time that the sile had shown up, the OptiMill was for sale because I knew I couldn't run production well on it and it wasn't not going to keep up. So pretty much I was selling that machine, and one of the guys that shown up to have a look at it, he was involved with the colleges, and he was trying to buy it for the colleges for a starter machine for them to get into, and he had a whole engineering workshop running on phase changes and generators just around the corner from me. So he was the first call, like, "Hey, have you got a spare one?" He goes, "I just sold my spare one, but the guy I sold it to, he now has a spare one that's a little bit a smaller version, but it's not working." It's like, I don't care. I need it because you can't just order the phase changes here. That you've got to get them. They're made to order, so it's like another 3-month wait to get it all to get one. And so I've gone and picked up this broken down one and sent it back to the man. I tried to have a look at trying to fix it myself, but there was just a spider web of wires that didn't really make sense to why things were going in different places. I'm sure it was done like that to confuse you so you can't copy it. But I sent it back. I sent it, put it on a pallet, sent it back to the manufacturer, and I got it back with like a week. And it was one wire out of place that electrician had moved apparently. So they got it fixed, sent it back to me, and got the machine running. So it was pretty much a 7-month wait sort of thing to get the style, and it was one of the first sort of ones. And yeah, then it was pretty much just another learning curve because I still had no idea what I was doing. Just like, we'll figure this out as we go.
And so at this point, you still were working full time. So, or did you give an ultimatum? Like, did you have plans to quit?
No,
or?
it was no. So when we were sort of looking at that, we built the shed and we built a livable part in the shed. And to pay that bill, I went to the bank. They were like, yeah, but you work for yourself. So they didn't want to give me the money for that. And at the same time, I was looking at to go to the next sort of steps with the machining. I needed to buy a better machine compared to the Chinese copy converted machine.
Sure.
So the bank was literally like, go get a job and first week we'll give you all that money. So they pretty much 1 week they wouldn't give me anything. I applied for a fair few jobs, had a job next week, got the first pay slip, and then got 70 grand loaned to me straight away to buy the sile, pay for the bill for the building inside the shed to live in it. And so I pretty much just stayed on that job. I was sort of like, at that stage, it was sort of like I'll stay employed to get the house built as well. And this was all just, we ended up taking 2 more years to build because of the building supply shortage. So we couldn't even build. So I ended up staying employed because it was sort of that I still yet didn't have a product base out there. I was sort of just still starting. So I wanted to, the job was backing up the payments on the machine. And I was just working nights and weekends. And my bed was probably 5 meters from the machine for the last 2 years. So I was right near the machine the whole time. So the machine normally ran till 9, 10 o'clock every night for a long time.
Wow.
Even last night, it was meant to run till 10 o'clock last night, but it broke down.
Speaking of it breaking down, did you sort that out?
Yes, it's currently running again.
Okay.
So it was pretty good. You think about Saturday night, 6:30, or 7 o'clock, I've come home from dinner. The machine was meant to be running, red light on it when it was, as we come back home. I've pretty much got on WeChat, sent Mr. Chen a picture of my screen, and he's just 5 minutes later, he's like, go check this. And pretty much within the hour, we'd found the problem. And
That's
I think
awesome.
I'm getting a new power cable. Just what ended up happening is between the 3 phases and the earth, it had obviously gotten coolant in there over time, and it's sort of arced across to the earth from one phase. But when it done that, it had actually burnt the plastic away that was insulating it. So it just kept on arcing out. Every time I'd start the machine up, it would arc out. It wasn't until I actually unplugged the motor, and it was actually faulting with the motor unplugged. So then I sort of figured that was in the cable. And I booted the machine up while I could watch the cable one time, and I actually saw the puff of smoke come out of where the actual join was. I thought it had jumped out of a wire, but it was actually in the terminal block. And all I ended up doing was actually pulled the earth terminal out, and that it was like on like a little U shape like that. And I just trimmed one of the corners off so that there's enough gap that it didn't spark across, filled it for dielectrical grease, and put it back together.
Right.
It's currently running, and it should keep running.
That's awesome.
That's probably 3 years, and it's currently getting in the 1,300 hours. That's the first actual issue with the machine that stopped it. So
and if anyone looks at the photos on your Instagram, like you were working that machine. Like I routinely have seen pictures where it is full. Like you're putting 20-kilo blocks of aluminum into that machine and machining tons of it away.
Yeah, it hurts to lift them sometimes.
Like,
Some of them even
ridiculous.
like there's some of them there that their block starts at 6 kilos and it's left with 300 grams at the end of it.
Jeez.
And
It's a
we'll do
lot of
like
material.
that's done. Like I just did that product and I just done 8. Like I do 8 of them and I'll probably do another 8 of them pretty shortly. Like they just
Wow.
a sort of constant circle of the products that just keep getting made. But I do wear out wouldn't say wear them out, but I do get like threading up on the taper of the tool holders. So my roughing tool holder, I'll cycle it out to something else every couple of months just to keep a
Sure.
nice taper on it. But yeah, they get marks on them.
Yeah, I end up with the same
I
when I
haven't.
stick things out stupid far in my machine because it's also BT30. They run
Yeah,
out of rigidity rather quickly.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
impressive. I'm
those
yeah.
those blocks look like they're bigger than your machine's travels for the engines.
yes, yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
It's. I'm shopping for a 5-axis purely around that product, and I'd
Okay.
been the moment I bought the OptiMill, I'm like, I'm going to make an engine, and it was sort of like, yeah, I had no idea. So I even bought the tools that I thought I was going to use to do the engine straight away. First shopping list, I'm like, I need this to do this part of the motor, and it took me 3 years to actually get around to actually building it. But I kind of got to the point where I was like, once I was learning the machine, I was like, I actually need to do this on a 5-axis. This is silly to try and do this and do many of them on a 3-axis, let alone an X5. So I'd sort of been telling everyone like, hey, I'm going to buy a 5-axis and then I'm going to do the motors. And it just got to the point one day, one of my mates out in Gold Coast, he's like, I need the bottom end of the motor, the cases. He's like, I need them now. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll make them for you. And this time I was really getting fed up with the job I was in. And this is coming up to the Christmas just gone, just
Mhm.
before the motor sort of got it sort of developed. And I'm like, yep, I'll order it, but you need to pay me up front because this is a big job. And I don't know if it's going to work, but I'll give it a go. I'll figure it out as I
Okay.
go. So I bought the blocks. Like I knew sort of about what the blocks I needed to buy. So I just measured up some OEM styles, got the blocks ordered. I'm like, right, I'll make a set for myself because I'd always had this. I was always going to make the top end of the motor, and I was going to use whatever most people are doing. They make a billet top end, but they use the cast alloy bottom end of the motor. But then they JB weld all the holes up from the casting of production. Then they machine it all out and die grind it, and there's nothing left of the OEM cases, just chunks of JB weld. But what happens every 12 months? They fall out. So I thought I was
Right.
going to do the same thing. So once my mate's sort of gone, I need billet cases, I need them now. I'm like, cool, I'll get onto it. And I'm like, make my own set. And I'm like, well, I might as well order the top end as well. So I ordered the blocks for the top end. And that was sort of over the Christmas time, pretty much over the week or two break there. I just got all the cases done for him and then pretty much got onto the top end and made myself the top end as well. But the first sets that I made, I manually aligned each part on the machine, overhanging one side,
Right.
and then I would spin it around and then sit there and just try and get it within a couple of micron back aligned. And it kind of worked out because the line boring's done at the end, and that's the
Yeah.
line boring is the most important part. Once you get all sorted, you can be about a half mil out the rest of the time. As long as your sealing faces come out good and the line borer is in the correct spot, it works. So
Right.
I'm only trying to
Well,
get it within a couple micron, like realigning it. The second batch I did on them, I actually made up. I would stock prep with keyways in the stock that was later going to
mm,
be removed, and that way I had a jig on the table that had the keyway in it, and I could put it down one way, clamp it, and then I'd spin it around, clamp it down, and I sort of just give it a little, sort of tighten the Mighty Bite clamps up certain orientation to get the last little bit of alignment, and sort of try to always aim for about 5 micron to just try and eliminate any deviation between each run.
well,
It works.
that that's a good segue there. You said line boring, and so from what the pictures I see, you're doing the line boring on the lathe. So
Yeah.
when did the lathe come into the picture?
Um. Geez, I don't know. Probably a year after I had the sile.
Okay.
Yeah, I was still. Yeah, that's right. I was still employed at the time, and it was sort of always a thing as well. I was always thought I need a mill and I need a lathe to go out on my own again. And that was sort of the goal, to get to that. And it just happened that a local business, they had bought a new spec lathe. They had sold, it was a bit of a long story, but they sold one machine. Then they wanted to buy that machine back. And I said, well, I'll buy this machine, because they needed the space. So I bought it's a YMC Supermax.
Okay.
And the idea is, when I bought that one, it was meant to be running, and he was meant to give me some training on how to use it, and it was tooled up like it was meant to be fine, but it actually had a spindle drive had gone faulty. It had gone faulty, and Fanuc had actually come and replaced it, and then they replaced it with a faulty one. So then then it actually just had a communication issue in the one that Fanuc replaced it with. So while this was going on, we've done the sort of thing that I'm going to buy the machine. So he's moved out of the workshop to his home, got the other machine and got it running again till I was ready to buy the machine. So then in the meantime, the drive had gone back to Fanuc to get a communication board replaced. And then we moved it to my place and went to fire it up, and it didn't work at all. So then it was pretty much, instead of me getting trained on how to run the lathe and how to hand program, because it's a 1992 or 1995 machine. The idea was he was going to give me some tips on how to hand program it, because that was how he had run it all the time, was hand programming it. So
Right.
Instead of the training of how to run the machine, I got pretty much 2 months of training on how to fix the machine, and with Fanuc on the phone pretty much every week, and how to test everything to do with the drives and the computer and everything. Pretty much, we hand checked every parameter in the machine, just because we didn't trust the backup was working. And then it was a lot of time. And I ended up I was sort of staying out of a little bit, because it was sort of I'd purchased a running machine. So I was sort of, the older owner was there he was trying to get it running. And I ended up just getting bored with it and Googled it, and found on a forum someone else had a similar issue. And there's one parameter you had to change, and it would let it rewrite the parameters to what you'd entered into that parameter. It had and what ended up being was that the software that was in the new drive was updated, was ahead of what everything else was in there, and that's where they'd gone wrong. They had the wrong software, and it ended up nothing would talk to it, and it was a bit of a drama getting it sorted. But it runs good. I do have a bit of a bar pusher set up on it as well, which is a meter-long air cylinder that's aligned with the bore, and then it has a bearing on the end, and it pushes the bars through. And then just have a tool that's a stopper, and it lets it, pretty similar to what you were showing the other day with your PVC pipe setup. Pretty similar to that, but it's sitting outside the machine, so it pushes through.
Yeah.
But some days it'll make 400 or 500 parts, just bar feeding the parts. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, bar feeders are great.
I think it was probably another one too. I purchased a machine for 20 grand, and the first job on it was 20 grand.
That's awesome.
And I had no idea how to run the machine. So I just worked it out and just played with it and got through the job.
Yeah, poked it with a stick till it did what you want.
Yeah.
Are you still doing is the programming on that still all just hand coding on machine?
No.
No.
I don't believe in hand programming now.
Okay.
I've even tried to do it with someone. There's someone I've gone into business with now, and I was sort of showing him, I'll show you hand programming, and I went to write the first line, and I'm like, actually, I don't even know what I'm doing. Let's go to Fusion, and just
nice. Okay.
Yeah, and then it's just the old lathe has a laptop plugged into the printer port, so it just transfers the code over like that.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah. I look at the hand program, even conversational. I just look at it as too hard, because I can just have the model there, exactly what I want, and Fusion's just going to do it, and I don't have to think about it. And I click simulation, it gives me a green light, and I literally press the green button and walk away.
Nice.
So I had the guy who
Nice.
bought Bertha from me here last night, and we were programming parts. He's like, "Yeah, no, we needed to add like 3 more part numbers." So it took all of 5 minutes to get all the things modeled, programmed, and sent to the machine. I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
just even if you're doing it with the free version of Fusion for a lathe, it'll be fine."
Yeah.
He's looking to just get started with running a lathe.
And that was a bit when I bought the mill. I knew I needed to buy a modern mill because there's always old mills that come for sale, but it was never going to have some of my programs, even on small parts, are 6 megabytes, and it's more than the actual memory of some machines. So, but I knew when I bought the lathe, I'm like, an old 30-year-old lathe is not really a problem because it's just 2-axis lathe. There's not a lot of memory
Funny
needed
business,
there.
yeah. Well, I ran a program yesterday, 2,500 lines of lathe code. Because I was using pegging.
Land, yeah.
Yeah, so it just shits out a million lines of code. It's great. But yeah, the Fusion is the way to go with programming of machines.
Yeah.
There's no point to program shit by hand.
I don't really want to stand in a machine all day, so I pretty much simulate it, watch the first tool go in, and I'll stop the tool changes if I want to on the very first part just to make sure everything's been measured right, and I just let it go. Breaking of like the Sile doesn't, the X5 doesn't. The biggest tool I really ever run is a 16 mil, but most of the time I'm using a 12 mil end mill. Like the cost of just breaking that if something is actually wrong is not worth me standing at the machine for hours.
Yeah, no doubt.
I actually went down to a 10 millimeter rougher because I get better material removal with the lower spindle horsepower than I was getting on a 12 millimeter because your radius or your diameter is smaller, so it requires less torque, and you'll get like silly material removal rates with the 10 millimeter rougher.
I don't seem to have any issues with torque on the Sile, like on the X5. Okay. So I'm like running that 12 mil. I can if it gets to about 80-90% spindle load.
Yeah.
If there's a blip in the coolant, it just explodes the tool. But that's normally at that loads. I'm sort of about 35 mil deep and about 2 mil width of cut.
Step over, okay.
And I'm moving about 0.2. At 0.2, it'll explode the tool. 0.2 of a tool.
So how many? Like what? All the RPM, I assume, because aluminum.
No. With the 12 mil, I sort of run about 7,000 RPM.
Oh, okay. So reasonable SFMs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got that rougher. I run 12,000 RPMs, 4.3 meters a minute, 3 mil step over, 30 mil depth of cut. Puts it at 99% spindle load. Figured out exactly how hard I can go with it.
Yeah.
And I run it right to the limit. But I mean, that tool will. The last one I broke after 250 kilograms of aluminium of shavings. It then broke because it threw apart because I was doing a favor for somebody. So no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah, most of the tools I break in alloy are not because of the tool wearing.
No,
mostly because I've made a mistake or I've pushed it too hard.
Yeah, ID10 Tierra.
Well, you're my canary in the coal mine when it comes to that spindle, then, because I think you're giving it a harder workout than most people are going to be giving that machine.
Even when the fretting started happening on the taper, I was pretty much on the Sile about it. Like, is this an issue? And he pretty much just got me to put a dial indicator up in the spindle, and you could maybe see half a micron there of the needle moving, and he's like, "No, you're good. Keep going." They just sort of just thought it. They thought it might be a bit of water in the air coming through, and it was sort of putting water droplets in the while it's running, and that was sort of making it look a bit rusty as well.
Sure.
But
yeah.
It's after a lot of work that it does that.
Yeah. Well, that's I mean, I've been on this podcast and I definitely like talked about the poor quality control of Sile, but the one thing I will say that is if you email them in the correct business hours, they're actually super responsive. Like I've talked to Mr. Chen a few times and he's crazy helpful considering probably how many emails he gets from how many people.
I just get it to him on WeChat.
Or totally. Yeah. Like WhatsApp or whatever. Yeah.
I pretty much had him from the start with the machine because I had started to have some issues with the tool changer throwing tools. and it
Mm-hmm.
was sort of like, was never at the machine to actually see the issue happening, and it was actually someone else. I feel like his name's Soon. He's in Taiwan or Thailand or somewhere. He actually got it on GoPro, where what was happening was the spindle was not lifting and the tool changer was spinning and just knocking all the tools out. And
Yeah.
I've even got a WeChat group chat with Mr. Chen and two other people that are the engineers for LNC and an engineer for the tool changer, all in one group chat to sort that problem out. And it took an email of pretty much saying to Sile, like, if you're not going to fix it, you need to buy the machine back because I can't sell it like this. And it
Yeah.
was, from the first year, it was pretty much like every time I thought I was starting to make money, it would throw tools and destroy everything. And
I wonder if you were the guy I saw in the Facebook group, because I came across that thread where he's like, it was just like a picture of the machine, like the coolant trace with there's tools in it, and I was like,
yeah,
oh, that looks ragged. And this is the one
yeah,
reason I avoided that control, but I'm glad you got it solved. That's good.
yeah. It was literally just an update. That's what fixed it. It was
That's
just an
awesome.
odd. It was just a glitch somewhere that they'd seem to have found and fixed,
That's
and it
awesome.
hasn't done it since. It's probably been a good 12 months. But I've still got the group chat, so it's like whenever I need something, if it's to do with the controller, I just post into that group chat, and I normally get an answer.
Perfect. That's cool. So, jet skis. I also was poking on your Instagram page. I noticed you have a ton of car stuff. So, is your world primarily like is your current focus jet skis and your future focus jet skis, or are cars your interest too, or like how does that play into it all, or is it just
Yeah, I'm
you just like cars?
definitely interested in cars and everything. Like pretty much, jet skis are just my main focus, just to niche down on that, and that's what I do as a sport. Like I just have jet skis that I build and I ride. Like I just ride any chance I sort of can get when I'm not fixing machines. But I've got mates that are into cars, and I've got customers that are making car parts, and it's sort of like I sort of say to them, it's like I'll partner with you to do your manufacturing, but I'm not the person to run the websites. If I went and started like another car brand, then you're spreading yourself across two brands and trying to manage two different sides of things. I have thought about it, like doing some car stuff myself, and even work holding. I was even looking at getting into that, but it's sort of
Hmm.
just like the same thing as like if I just keep the focus into the one thing and just keep growing that, that just does just as well as if you were to try and spread yourself across two or three different brands. And even I'm already sort of spread across a business, and then the website is sort of the jet ski side of things, and then trying to keep the business side running as well with all the customer work, just general work around as well.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with you. I think niching down in your industry that you're good at is absolutely the way to excel and
Yeah.
sticking with it. So that's awesome.
So I do have to remind myself to do that a lot because every so often it's like I could make this, I could just make this. It's like, oh, I should really just concentrate on one thing.
Yeah, no doubt. So, like, what's your biggest bottleneck in your production right now? Is it your time, or is it customer sales?
Oh,
Like, what's your main sticking point?
it probably is just at currently my time just being spread too thin across the entirety of it.
Mhm.
Um, I sort of do need. I'm pretty much ready to take on a worker to sort of just run the machines and run the anodizing. If
Mhm.
someone just to keep empty the chip bins on the freaking side because it just fill up 4 times a day. So it's just a constant job on that. And then while I'm doing running the machines, I'm not sort of doing any more new design work or not sort of keeping up with the business side of stuff. So
Totally. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do try to even sometimes I do run it. If I have a full week in the workshop, I'll pretty much just even like Monday is pretty much run the bandsaw, run what I want to do that week, and that sort of sets the goal of what I want to finish that week. Because I'll
Right.
cut all the stock, put it on the shelf in front of the machine. And it's like by the end of the week, I want that empty.
Yeah.
Doesn't always happen, but it sort of does start that. Gets it all sawn cut, and then while the saw's running, because it's a bit slow, I'm setting up the machines, getting them ready to run. By the end of the week, it's the saw's finished, and it's just the machines are now just running. It's getting up on top of the anodizing, And then my problem really is getting it anodized and packed and on the shelves. I don't really do that. I sort of just actually get all the machining, anodize what I need to get out in the way of products that are sold, like customers that are actually already purchased or they're waiting for it. I'll get them anodized and shipped out, and I'll just leave the other stuff sitting there raw. And because that way I can, because I offer so many different colors, if I was to try and like stock it all, I'd have to stock 100 parts, not 10 parts. Whereas at the moment I sort of stock 10 raw items, put on the website that there's 1 or 2 in stock of each sort of item, of each color. And then as they sell, I'll just anodize, like, because I can get a sale, anodize, and send it the next day pretty much. So you can keep on top of it.
One of
So
the that's a perfect segue. Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
Your anno setup. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Elaborate on it?
What it size? Is? What are you? How you built your setup?
It keeps on. It's been updated 3 times now, but it started off in 10-liter buckets. Then I've gone to the 20-liter buckets, and I'm currently in 20-liter buckets, but my acid is in a 45-liter square tub sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I've got 40 amps power supply.
Okay.
It's all Caswell gear, Caswell dyes.
Yeah.
Amazon heaters. Pretty much. Pretty basic setup, really.
I mean, your results you're getting out of that are very nice.
That's phenomenal.
So.
It's all camera angles. There is some blemishes and stuff that I had chased for a long time, and I've sort of just been told, like, hey, stop worrying so much about it. I was pretty much always trying to, at the start, trying to get absolute perfect quality, and it was sort of scrapping parts in anodized because I was trying, like, a little blemish, I'm like, no, can't have that. So now, the blemish I get now, you can only really see it on the LED lights in the right angle. So it's sort of, once it goes on a jet ski, it doesn't really.
No one's ever going to see it. The blemishes you're getting, I'm assuming they're around holes.
No. I do get that, but that's
easy to fix.
That's the acid bleed. Yeah. No, I get like, it's almost like it's got a thicker anodized layer in a pattern sort of thing. And it's the only reason I think it's thicker, it's either thicker or it's actually been eaten away a little bit in areas from another part of the process, which I think is actually in the seal, because I'll see it come and go, and I'll replace the seal, and it sort of actually does fix it. It's still sort of there, but it's sort of really nice and shiny in sections, and then it's a little bit duller in sections, and it almost looks like a water pat across one edge of the part sometimes. I'll have to try and get an angle and send it to you.
Because I know I've had issues with extruded material where I've got extruded bar and then you just get streaks through your anodize. So like everything I do now is plate, and I machine everything out of plate that needs to be anodized.
Yeah, one of the parts runs that I've just done, I ordered 3 lengths of extrusion. Yeah. And I can see the part come through anodized, it comes out satin. Just something reacts different in the acid compared to, it's not coming out shiny. People still like the part, though. It just has a different look to it. You just got to sort of accept that it's a little bit different from what I was expecting, and it's still okay. It's still a good product.
Anodize is a schlep.
Yeah.
Like I anodized 60-something parts this week. Like 6 at a time on a rack, and then down to 2 at a time on a rack because they're bigger parts. So
that's a lot of ice bags.
It is. Well, actually, it wasn't too bad.
Did you like my comment? Did you like my comment the other day about the ice bags? So I was listening to. I think you mentioned that on
with intolerance.
Intolerance, that's it. Yeah. So I don't run chillers anymore. I did run in chillers, but the difference too is I run constant volts, not constant amps.
Okay.
So because at the start I was running constant amps. And what was happening was like you'd lose contact on one part, and the amperage just moves to all your other parts in the bar. Yeah. So whereas constant voltage, that won't happen. It will just still apply the amps to each part evenly.
Yes.
And that one that just loses contact, just you don't notice until it comes through the die that it didn't
Yeah.
work.
And that's I forgot what I wanted to ask now. Shit. Oh well, can't be that important. It was something
No
to do with.
chillers because I'm not running the chiller.
Yeah, so are you chilling your acid at all, or just running it at
No.
whatever room temperature is?
Well, it heats up because
Yes, you're putting.
like yesterday. I did 6 plates at once. It was 35 amps,
Yeah.
and the acid got up to 40 degrees,
Jeez.
and
Okay.
the parts were fine.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Because I've worked very hard to keep mine at like 15 degrees C.
Yeah, and I didn't know about like because every time I've had issues and I've gone to Caswell, like I'm having these issues, they're like, "What's your temperature?" And I'm like, I don't know, like 30 degrees, whatever it is. You got to be 25 or 20.
Yeah.
And I sort of see it more as a consistency thing than
Yeah.
actually trying to do it because it is especially when you're doing constant amps, but with constant volts, it just adjusts itself with
Okay.
the temperature.
And what voltage are you running at?
So it'll be a balance with the acid concentration,
Yeah.
and you sort of do use the 720 calculator to work out what the
Okay.
amperage should be, and
Okay.
I'll then
And then
put
adjust
the
your
part in,
voltage.
and I sort of want to be in between that 12 to 14 range. I sort of
Yeah.
find works really well. Once I'm
Okay.
sort of getting the 14 volts to try and hold the amperage, I'll actually start to add acid in, but I also do it off of as I'm going through to production. If I'm going through, especially when you're doing black, it's the most noticeable. I'll go for an hour 20 and then
Okay.
15 minutes in the dye. If it's not coming out pure black at that point, or just the slightest bit of blue is what I'd like to get it to.
Yeah.
If it comes out like a dull blue, like it's not even black, I pretty much start like bringing the voltage up to give it like to keep it in that hour and 20.
Okay.
Because at some points there I'd done it out to like 2 hours, but it's like you're just not getting the parts through. Like I want it to
Well,
run
that's the thing.
faster.
I used to run 45 minutes, and I noticed
Mm.
my blacks went grey, and then I went to an
Yep.
hour, and that's more consistent. But as my acid concentration changed now on this batch I just did, the first
Yeah.
parts were black, and then the next sets were grey, like run straight after each other.
Yeah.
So I think I need to be a bit more on it with adjusting my acid concentration.
Yeah, that was sort of one of the things that Caswell was saying that was my issue with the blemishes I was getting, because at this stage when I was really chasing it, they were bad. Like you were pretty much nearly looked like there was oil on the part still. Um, and I had dumped my acid, made up a new batch because they had told me the way I'd worked it out was wrong.
oh,
So I'd redone the calculations and redone all these measurements and got it running. And then first batch of parts come out and they're dull as anything. And I'm like, this is no good. Dumped a bunch of acid in, cranked the volts back up. And I'm like, let's go like this. This works. So,
I bought a hydrometer, and then I can check my acid concentration. So I've actually got it written on the wall what it needs to be, and then you just drop it in and it floats. And because what'll happen, I will not anodize for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll go there and the acid tank's that much lower. So I'll top it off with RO water, and then it'll bring it back in, and then I've got some diluted acid mixed up like 1.1 SG, and then I'll top up with that to just bring it right square again. Because last time I dumped my acid, it was because my heat exchanger failed and pumped cooling water into my acid. So we then neutralized that and cooked a square into my grass because I threw caustic soda in to neutralize it. So it got hot as fuck. Then got it to basically the pH of drain cleaner and then would it down the drain. And then it also stinks. And then I mixed up a new batch and I was just short. So I had to buy another, I think it's a 3-liter bottle of acid of 98% sulfuric.
Yeah.
I went, and that was it. Like 1 cap is all I needed to bring my acid back to where it needed to be. So I'm ready to change my acid again if I need to.
Are you watching your dye pH?
I am, but I don't trust my pH meters.
Ah.
I think I bought a little one off like Amazon. It fell in a few times. I bought another one. It calibrates in it. And I don't trust it. Like it's telling me my pH of my water is like 9 of my tap water, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. So I bought the strips. I bought a whole bunch of little strips, and I checked with that, and the pH meter and that do not agree.
Yeah.
And the problem the problem with the strips is when you dip them in a colored dye, the color changes.
Yeah, it doesn't work
Yeah,
because
but
that was a big
a
issue.
big thing.
That's
Yeah,
probably the biggest issue I had with anodizing was like dye's just not even working. You're putting the part in, going, there's just no color in it,
yeah.
and it would end up
pH is a
being
big
that
thing.
the pH had gone out. So now that's
I
probably the biggest
actually
thing I watch.
I learned the pH thing from what's his name? This guy on YouTube, um, New Zealand guy who made a replica of a model engine for a airplane, and he was talking about anodizing something on that, like the cap or the head. And he was like, "Oh, you must check the pH." And then I went and actually looked into the pH story because I was having
Yeah,
inconsistent anodize. And
yep,
then fixed the pH, and that solved a portion of the issues.
yeah. And I think that's where my seal ends up going bad of it at some point where you can pull it out of the dye, wash it off and let it sort of dry and it looks
Yeah.
perfect, and then you seal it and then you come out with this blemish. And it's,
Okay.
oh
I haven't
well.
had issues on my sealing side, but I literally just changed to using a pressure cooker as my sealing tank because it's better
Yeah.
insulated. All my parts are small. It's better
Yeah,
insulated
yeah.
than the deep fryer that I had, and it runs on a PID controller, so I can control it. I hold it 1 or 2 degrees below boiling.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just got, are you using the casual sealer
Yeah.
though?
The green cocaine.
Yeah, but do
Yeah.
you change it out like every month?
When I have to.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Like
Well, it
I'm
might
really
be,
bad
I'm
at
not,
changing it out.
yeah, I probably don't wash my parts well enough,
Yeah,
and that I get a
I've
lot
got
of
a
dye
hose
in
pipe.
there.
So I put a
Yeah.
lot of dye in mine. Mine goes straight out of the dye, straight into the sealer. I don't even
Yeah,
rinse
yeah.
them. Um, but it doesn't really, if it's hot, it shouldn't really affect. It should seal near instantly and then build up the
Yeah.
layer.
Yeah, I think
Um,
when I was getting more issues, I was running about 80 degrees. And I
yeah.
sort of bumped, I'm at 90 degrees now, and that actually helps a lot.
Yeah. So mine boils at 88 degrees, like according to my
Right.
PID temperature thing. So I set it to 86, like right
Yeah,
below
yeah,
boiling.
yeah,
Because if it boils, it just boils over all day and you just forever topping it up.
yeah,
So I hold it just below, and then it works really, really well. But yeah, the biggest upgrade was that little pump with the spray gun that you can just clean indefinitely because I had a spray bottle and I had a pump up bottle, but you never
yeah.
had enough water. Now I've got a pump
No,
that goes
I'm
to a
always
20
filling them
liter.
up.
Just send it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you using distilled water or RO water?
I have like a activated carbon filter on a water, like
Okay.
drinking water tap that I
Yeah.
just get from that. Like, yeah, straight out of the tap pretty much, but it runs through a
Okay.
filter, drinking water
Yeah, I've got
filter.
an RO filter set up I bought when
Mm.
I did the bolt belt, and that I've used that since I was getting lower TDS from my RO than I was getting from the distilled water I was buying.
Yeah.
Like distilled
Well, I
water was
was
12 TDS, and my system is between 4 and 6.
in the last acid bath I'd mixed up, I'd actually went and bought distilled water and used it because I was chasing these issues. And I think on one of the Facebook groups where there's a guy who's now retired who done anodizing all his life, he's pretty much, yeah, but is your the 98% sulfuric acid you've bought, what's the other 2%? He says there's probably less of whatever that 2% is in your actual water. I only
Yeah,
just sort of look at it that, especially in the seal where you are steaming off all day long, you're constantly topping it up.
yeah,
Your minerals are getting higher and
are
higher.
getting through the roof. Yeah, but
Mm.
that's the whole point of that green cocaine is it adds a bunch of minerals that help with the seal.
Yeah,
Like it's got a whole
and I
bunch
do
of
I do get
iron in it.
lots of feedback on the parts that they don't fade, and
Oh,
I
okay.
sort of put it down to that using that green
Yeah,
nickel. I
because
think it's
I
called
made
nickel
parts,
acid.
they faded. The black faded to like a purple color on a guy's
Yeah,
motorbike.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, my most of the stuff I do is base pads for magazines for shooting
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
so they're not in the sun all day, so it
No,
doesn't
no.
really make a difference.
So I've got one of my steering systems on my ski, and it's lived outside for about 3 years.
Yeah,
And it's got, when I was up the pole on the jet ski, the was I had one made in China, my design that I made, and it's gone like bronze, like the black
yeah.
is completely gone. But my
I've had
steering
something
that's
go
since,
bronze as well. I'm trying to remember what it
yeah,
was. It was
I think
something I
it's a
made
bit
for
to do with
myself, but it
the,
sat in the sun.
yeah, I think it's to do with the dye, like whatever
Yeah,
sort of dyes you
the
use, how
UV
they
bleaches
fade.
out the pigments in the dye.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, that's
Interesting.
very very interesting. Like because anodize is a pretty hot topic at the moment. I know John from 2SM Performance wants to bring it in house because he's waiting like 2 weeks on parts, and it's making it difficult for him to like flow stuff through the shop. So
Yeah,
we've been discussing bringing that in house for him because he bought the
yeah.
casual starter kit, but like I would not recommend the casual starter kit.
No,
It's
I did look at it, but once you do the numbers on it, you're like, I'll just go get the
yeah,
buckets and do it myself. The
exactly. Like that's what I did.
I sort of started doing it myself because like the first thing I wanted to do, I had one part. It wasn't worth sending off to get
Yeah.
done. So I didn't even investigate what it's even going to cost. I'm just like, oh, cool, I'll just do it myself, which is pretty much the theme of everything, was
Well,
just trying to do everything.
that's how I got into it. I wanted to try
Yeah.
it, so I made a setup out of stuff I had kicking around, like literally a bottle of battery acid my father-in-law had at that time. He had been dead for 7 years. It was in the garage. I'm like, hey, fuck. I
It's
did
still
some
good.
research on it. Actually, found the data sheets, and it was like 40% acid. So then I could
Yeah.
calculate back what my acid needed to be, what my dilution ratio needed to be, and that's how I started anodizing, like odds and
Mm.
ends. And then, yeah, as I had a need for it, I stopped using printer ink and started using casual dyes.
Yeah. I
Because just because it works doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah, I've sort of been giving a bit of advice to someone else down in Brisbane,
Mm.
and their reasoning, like they were a machine shop, and they had investigated sending it out. It was a 17-week lead time on getting anodizing. So they're like, should we set our own system? I'm like, what do you need to do? Little parts. Yep, do it.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
you
Because that's the thing,
learn
the
to do it.
racking
And it's,
fee is killer. Like if I send out
oh
mag
yeah,
bases, it's just on a $2 racking fee per part.
yeah,
They don't meet, so every part is $2 on the cost,
yeah,
which apparently
yeah,
is cheap, but they also rack it stupidly and fuck my parts up.
yeah,
Like that's the issue. Like if they're making scrap, it's kind of pointless. Like they scrapped all the anchor point bodies from batch two.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I did hear that.
That was fucking yeah. That was rough. They are now just desk ornaments and are making new ones and annoying them in house,
Yeah,
which also lets me do cool things.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Have you messed around with masking at all on your anodizing or two
So I
tones?
bought when I first bought the kit. I don't know why I bought the masking paint
Lack.
stuff. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I'll have a go at that. So I bought it. Probably 5 6 months later, I've opened the tin. It was just completely jelly. It had,
Yeah.
it had gone off, but at the same time, I'm like, I bet you they've sold me a dodgy one. That it's like because I then bought another one and I actually opened it because I kept both of them for some reason.
Yeah.
I kept the old one and then I opened both up and the one was still jelly and the second batch I bought was still good. I'm like, yeah, I must have got done with an old stock or something when I first
Yeah.
bought it. But I didn't know it was meant to be like that, so I was trying to
Yeah.
use this like jelly sort of stuff on it, and I ended up just giving up.
Yeah, I use a rattle can. I learned not to use clear lacquer. Use colorful paint so you can see where
Yeah,
the fuck you're putting it on the part. Otherwise,
I
you clear
think
lacquer and the whole thing's covered.
yeah, I did try to do it actually with nail polish. I
Yes.
thought you could do that,
Yeah, you
but
can.
it all just got lifted, like it all
Oh,
just come off. It didn't actually
okay.
stick, so I don't know what I
Yeah,
did
because
wrong. And then I
I
just
like rattle cans. So I will
yeah,
dye it whatever color, pull it out, rinse it, dry it with a hair dryer. So it's nice and warm as well.
mm, yeah,
Mask it, dry it with spray paint, then dry that with a hair dryer. Then I go into strip. And
yeah,
then I put in the acid for like another 10 minutes. And then I do my second color. Same thing, dry it, mask it, dry it, then strip it again. And then I get three
yeah,
colors. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Have you
And
seen
it's,
like the guy that does and he does like a pen and it has like Bart Simpson like just completely detailed? It
no,
almost looks. I feel like he has to be using a laser, like laser engraving, bleaching the
that's,
color off and masking it
yeah.
like that. Like it's just so detailed. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, some of the guys. I'm on the Facebook group for DIY anodizing, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's
some of the
on there.
stuff the guys do is really interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, most of my stuff is I just changed the color of one section of the part.
Yeah,
At the start, I was like, yeah, I'll do full custom, and then I realized
yeah,
like I'm going to be constantly anodizing, so I started just doing most of the parts are done black, and then we changed like the fascia of the steering system or just the
yeah,
top of some other parts, like just to keep it all simple, and then it's easier to stock some of the colored parts. Then
yeah. No, the two tone stuff just eats up time. Like you've got to.
yeah,
It's a whole lot of extra steps.
yeah,
Ugh, yeah, so not recommended. Have we covered all the questions?
I think. I mean, the one
I
question I
didn't
would
have
have
the
is,
ticky thing.
yeah, no, no. So we basically know how you're going now. Like, what are your plans for the future? Like, do you have plans for different machines? You kind of alluded that you
Yes.
might be looking at people. Like,
So
what's the future have in store for you?
so today is Sunday. Wednesday, I've actually bought out another machine shop. So
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I'm going from my 2 machine shed at home, and we've bought out an engineering. So I've partnered up with another bloke. He does laser cutting, sheet metal work,
yeah.
and he's sort of been wanting to get into the machining side, but not really knowing how to do it. And we've both been talking to the same shop about purchasing the same shop. So we've just sort of like, well, why don't we just join up and just both buy the shop? And that sort of helps me financial side, and then helps him with the actual running of it. And he's actually going out on his property. He's going to build I think it's 1,200 or 1,500 square meter shed, and then eventually
Hmm.
it'll all move into one shed space. So both businesses will be in there running together. And then because I send him work for the laser cutters, and then he sends me machine work, so we'll all just be in one shed, and it just sort of it's a one shed that can do everything pretty much manufacturing.
Okay.
But the new, so yeah, I take over Wednesday. It's the 1st of October. I'll take over this workshop, and they've got 2 SMEC machines that are fairly new. One's a 1 meter mill, a 1 meter wire travels, a meter and 50, I think it is. And then there's a SMEC with like a 12-inch chuck lathe, and then there's another Colchester older lathe. And my lathe actually come from this shop. I'm going to move the sile into the current workshop it's in. We're just taking a walk in, walk out on the business. And then there's an old like 1950s universal manual mill, a big manual lathe, an EDM sinker, and
Nice.
French just purchased it with the idea that it already has a customer base of general job shop work that are consistent week to week. There's customers that come with work, and it's for like a mine work sort of thing. So there's the idea is that we can get workers in to continue that work going, and then I can keep concentrating more so on the product development side, and get a lot more out, because that's sort of what's slowing me down is this constant run around now that I'm just constantly remaking batches of parts, and to make a new R&D part, it's sort of we've got to put all that aside and try and make a new part in there, and it's not really getting the time to do it, as well as trying to keep up with just general job shop stuff. So going into that, then hopefully find a machinist to come in pretty soon. I haven't found him yet, but I've got a labourer lined up to sort of to help with anodizing and cleaning up, and he might just be the person that has to learn to run run the machines.
Right.
Upskill them
And and then once we get to the new shed with a bigger shed, ideally that's when we pretty much have as soon as we're moving into the shed, I want the 5-axis to move in as well. So we're sort of talking between a few at the moment, which is between Mazak, Akuma, and SMEC is sort of what we're looking at.
Okay. Well, the Mazak 5-axis are nice. Nice and expensive.
I'm sort of looking at more so as I do want to go to like your mill turn machines as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of looking further down the track of, depending on which direction the business ends up going in the general machine side, whether we need to get more 3-axis mills. If it was to go to the route of getting a Mazak 5-axis, the problem is to get the 3-axis is about the same money as getting the 5-axis. So whereas if I go the Akuma way, it's a little bit better priced on the 3-axis, and the SMEC is a lot better as well if I go that way. So I'm looking at sort of what's their pricing of the 3-axis as well, and and the Multis or the Integrex. Like if we were to go that machine, like sort of try and stay with one machine brand, and sort of looking at long term actually how much a machine's going to cost, and future machines on how much that's going to cost as well. So because your Integrex Multis style machine, mill turn machine, because I make the sleeve for the engine with all the porting, and that's all on a certain angle, and all those angles out of the steel sleeve, that mill turn machine would actually be ideal, because I currently do it in the 4th axis now, but they're just sort of done straight, and then I sort of die grind them the rest of the way to the angle they should be. So
Yeah.
getting that sort of machine would be ideal for that.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a second-hand Integrex for sale here. It's like $100,000.
What?
It
Is it
it's
broken?
from like the 90s. It's not fully functional with tooling.
Yeah.
It requires more power than my entire property can supply.
Yeah.
Like those things are thirsty.
We've got one.
Amazing.
There's one Integrex in our local area. There's no 5-axis. I'm actually pretty sure a lot of them don't even use fusion or anything. There's nothing special in my area. So when I'm looking for a machine, it's just like, hey, have you done any of this? No. It's like, cool. You have to learn everything.
Yeah, no, that is a bit of an issue with the older style shops.
Nice. Cool.
But yeah, I think that that basically.
Yes, we're reaching the top of the hour. Yeah. Do you want to start wrapping it up?
No worries. So, firstly, thank you to all our Patreons who make the wheels on the podcast go round and round. Special thanks to Jade from Benchmark 20, Luke from Fabtastic, AJ from Subtract Manufacturing, and 16 other businesses, EJ from Nocturnal Welding, Jason S., and the Aussie Machinist. You guys are making us not stay in South Chicago for IMTS. Also, my dumbass brother's getting married the weekend after IMTS, so yeah, that's tedious. But yeah, so what have you guys been Googling this week?
You can go ahead and lead us off
Do you want
there.
me to, or do you want me to get it?
Either or, Noddy or Jamie, whatever you guys want to.
Jamie, you go first.
I think I lost my Wordle streak yesterday. Shit.
Oh,
okay,
no.
Anyway. Yeah, dude, I've been a bit stupid. Trying to figure out how to put conversational onto my Linux CNC controllers. Found a green set of tool drawers for the lathe tooling when I rearrange. Looking up manuals for VFDs. Looking up the Rand dollar, which is now sad. Tracking my tunnel parcel because that teleported over to the US. Also some shenanigans there, which I think we'll get into in the after show about what happened there, and I have some thoughts. And then looking at 3-jaw chucks because I need a 3-jaw chuck for my milling machine because I sold the one that is on Bertha. So I had to buy a new one. And I'm putting it on a pallet that can go on an anchor point or onto the 96mm studs of the Jang plate. So I made a custom fancy pallet. But yeah, so what have you guys been goggling?
Curt?
Oh, yeah, okay. It's a bunch of boring stuff. There's a Canada Post strike looming or active, or I think now it's active. So that kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into some things. But thankfully, this has happened once, so I have a million things in place, so I can kind of get around that. I have Satisfactory open. It's like a game. Someone set me onto it, and yeah, it looks heinously fun. DIY keyboards, which is a horrible place to go down because now I'm looking at like machined keycaps and that's a bad thing to look at. I was like, I have all the equipment, I could do it. I could make custom titanium keycaps, and anyways, and then just a bunch of boring other stuff that doesn't really pertain to anything. So that's the majority of my Google searches. How about you, Master Noddy?
My last Google search was LNC X-axis over current ER100. trying to diagnose my machine last night. Other than that, it's really just the current setting up of a new business. And I'm probably right down to just the ERP software now. Just getting involved with building that, and then I pretty much just have a tab open, which is thefullgrip.com, which is a local, Australian, not local, but Australian, who's got a line of vices and 0-point plates and stuff. But because I've got like the silver CNC on my 4th axis, and I'm sure when I bought that it was like $1,700, and I was like, this is ridiculous. It's $100 of steel. So now that same, actually even a bigger vice is under 500 Australian.
Yeah.
For a 0-point.
The silver CNC is like $400-$500 for a 0-point.
In US dollars?
Yeah, in USD.
Yeah. So this is Australian, like in stock in Australia. So I'm pretty much just waiting till Wednesday when I'm in this new shop to measure up the machine and look at getting the 0 point plates and everything onto that machine, or make a plan with that, because I do need one of the parts I'm holding off on. I need to make a trunnion table, and it was never going to work on the X5. Actually, no, I lie. I could have made it work on the X5. I just realised I shouldn't, because I would have had a trunnion that was hanging outside of the travels, and so I could flip the part around and finish the other part. So.
Yeah, that's on the list of things to do, is make a trunnion for my fourth axis.
Yeah.
Make just a plate that I can put an anchor point on and then pivot sideways.
Yeah, that's what I sort of want to put 0 points on that and get that. That would make.
But I'm looking. I need to buy a Lang style 0 point for the new lathe for quick changing my gang tooling blocks. So I'm going to put all the recurring jobs onto a Lang plate. Yeah. Then I drop it in. I touch off the first tool. Everything else is already touched off.
Well, would you even have enough tool offsets so you could just leave them set up?
Yes. So now is my opportunity to reprogram everything I do. So like recurring production jobs are going to have stupid tool numbers. I'm going to make the blocks out of 7075, anodize them, engrave the tool numbers on them, and then they just drop in, and I touch off the first tool and the other four are already set.
No, what I'm saying is that you could have, like, if the tool block you've got in there, the offset could already be set. You don't trust it,
I don't trust on switches. This machine should be better, because looks like the servos I bought support on-drive homing. So I link the home switch to the drive itself, and then CNC says, "Hey, Mr. Drive, home, please." It does its homing cycle and then says, "I'm over here now," and is absolute positioning. So we will see.
The old lathe I have, that's how that works, and it's authentic, but it's very accurate.
The LK repeats like exactly.
Yeah.
But that also doesn't have limit switches. It's absolute. It knows where it is. And if you do lose position, you jog with these little arrows, you align them, and within a rotation, it finds the Z pulse and sets your position again. As really, like day to day, that machine is spot on. Like yesterday, I machined that pallet for the chuck, and I put the Lang pull stud in, and it wouldn't go in. Like I'd let go and it would come up, because I got the ball so tight it was catching air because it wasn't a through ball. I was like, fucking A. Like, didn't even try. It's great. Like, I've got that tool comp dialed in on that tool, and to hold relatively tight tolerance is super easy on a good machine. No, on not the slow yo.
Do you have what's a website that you want to plug, or social medias, or wherever you want people to find your wares?
So actually, I'll have to check what it actually is. I'm pretty sure it's just Noddy's Performance.
There will be a link in the description. I'll get my wife to go find it, and then we'll make sure there's a link. That's
all the jet skiing stuff, and that's gonna go away from the machine side of stuff. And then the new one is OS_manufacturing.
Okay.
So there's literally no post or anything on that yet, but over the next few months, I'll be building that one into just the pure machine side of things. It'll still see the jet ski parts, but on the Noddy's Performance, I won't have the only machining stuff that'll be on there from now on will be just of the jet ski parts. So whereas the car parts and stuff will disappear, and that can become a lot more just niche down to the jet ski side of things.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll put some links in the doobly-doo, and then if anyone's interested, they can go check those out and find all your fancy stuff, because your jet ski stuff looks really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I like seeing people do silly things on machines. It brings me great joy. Like, if it's dumb and it works, it's still dumb, but it worked.
Yeah.
Like, you've done some very creative setups there.
Actually, even the line boring setup that I do on the lathe, I actually bought a hold on the machine, a manual lathe, and I was going to build that to do that on the manual to keep it out of the CNC, but I never did it because it was just so convenient. Because I even have that plate that's mounting the cases to the tool turret. It's got a tool offset and it's just saved, so I can just literally put it back in, bolt them parts up, and they just set the Z and then go. And it's just convenient.
I assume you've never tool changed that plate.
No, and there is a way to There is a way to lock out
The turret.
the turret, but I haven't bothered to do
Okay.
that. I just the
Because
code I
that would
run.
terrify me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had so
Think
the guy
that.
that bought Bertha from me was here last night. We're making some parts. I'm like, you can use the machine as a manual machine. So I was showing him how to fondle all the knobs, and I'm like, no, you take a cut, you back off, you mark your size, you tell the controller what size it is, you jog to the size you want it to be, and you take another cut, and it'll cut exactly. It's like
Yeah.
super easy compared to doing it on a manual machine. But like
I
I
actually
think last night in 2 hours, we did like 4 days worth of work. Like that he was going to have to do on his manual machine.
yeah.
He's-
Yeah. Gotcha.
He's pretty stoked about getting Bertha in and get it up and running. He's like, oh, can he put a bigger spindle motor? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Buy a motor, buy a VFD. I'll come and integrate it for you. Like the reason
It's
the
a
machine,
converted.
yeah, I bought a scrapped Alex Tech lathe and then since he converted it,
Yeah.
But I cut some serious corners. Like it's got a three horsepower spindle motor because that's what I knew and it's all I could afford at the time. And like he was here last night, and I'm like, this is why this lathe is going because I stopped the spindle and then waited like 15 seconds for it to stop. Which for him making 100 parts a month, not a problem.
Yeah.
When I want to make 400 parts a day, that's a huge issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was very concerned I was selling him my rubbish. But no, I was not. Curt, where can people find your things?
You can find it confoundedmachine.com. There's nothing, but you can sign up on the contact page for notifications of when I will potentially have more ways for people to buy my wares that isn't just completely locked out. So as the story is always. Yeah. So what are you guys up to today? Jamie, what are you doing today?
I just realized that tomorrow isn't month end. I thought Monday was the last day of the month, but turns out it's Tuesday. So I'm going to go sleep and feel better. Because I was going to force myself, I was going to go nap for like 2 hours and then go run machines, but I can push it off till Monday and actually try and not die. So yeah, I'm going to go sleep for the day. Yeah, like I'm a bit burnt out. It's been 2 weeks of late nights, early mornings every day. So yeah, a little bit burnt out at the moment. So I think,
yeah, man, yeah,
be wise and don't burn myself out entirely. Don't want to pitch up at my friend's house drunk. I mean, he doesn't listen, so he wouldn't hear that dig. Yeah, my mate burnt himself out so hard he ended up pitching at my house. Had a fight with his girlfriend, pitched up at my house drunk one day. Like, yeah, it was a rough. But yeah, so what are you up to today? You went and drove your jet ski already.
Yeah, so I went jet skiing this morning, and then I came back, pulled the plug back off the Y-axis motor because I forgot the little safety that holds the terminals in place. So put that back in together. Put all the covers back on it. I found that issue last night because I knew I wasn't going to be able to sleep if I had not fixed the machine last night. So I was out there till late, getting the machine running, and then I come back from jet skiing, washed it, put all the covers back on that machine. It should almost be finished, that part now. It's been running while we've been talking.
Oh, nice.
So I'll probably go up there and I'll think about those parts get made on that angle on the fourth axis and then they get flipped over and do the other side. I'll think about it because I was actually, if the machine didn't break down last night, I literally would have turned the machine off and wouldn't even touch it today. But now it's finishing. I've caught up with that sort of parts. The customer is pushing me for it to get them out because his customers are pushing him for the parts. So, which are parts that are still in testing. They're not even confirmed design yet. No.
Out of curiosity, how big is that servo on your Y-axis? How many watts? Because it looks quite small.
Yeah, it literally, I opened the covers up and I'm like, this is a hobby machine.
Yeah.
I think, did you say watts? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, watts. How many watts is it? It looks like a 750 or a 400.
It was 1.1.
1 kilowatts. Oh, okay, that's decent.
I did take a photo.
I think I'm 1.2 on each of my X and Y and 1.8 on the Z.
Yeah, 1 kilowatt.
Okay.
3.
It's not a big servo, like
3.8 newton meters.
Yeah, that's
5,000 RPM.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
my 1 kilowatt only goes up to 3,200 RPM. The one that drives the spindle on the MCO.
Yeah, it's got 3,000 RPM for the torque rating.
Yes, and then it'll peak up faster.
The machine's ridiculously fast. I don't run it on 100%.
I do, but only when I have people watching. It's the best.
Yeah,
I've got
you turn it up when
once it
people
comes
watch
past. No, you'll come past. I'll run it at like 20% rapids. Do the first part, load the second part, push 100%, hit cycle start, turn around, and walk away. And he's watching the machine, and next thing the head just comes down at 48 meters a minute, and there's like jumps backwards, like every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend to run at 50% these days, and then if I'm running stuff on multiple work offsets, then I go to 100% because then it's up, over, down, up, over, down, and that just I don't want. I want fucking rocket ship.
Yeah. The biggest issue I find is the tool change is actually done at 100% as well.
Yes.
So it sort of bangs in and out with the you can see it on the Curt
interesting.
screen.
Mine actually, my tool changer is driven by the rapid override. So if I go to 100%, it will feed off slowly and feed up slowly if I'm like 1% or whatever, and it takes for fucking ever. So my tool change speed actually changes with my rapid speeds.
Yeah, it does, but then at 100%, it's too fast.
Yeah, it's violence.
Yeah.
It says 100%. You can use all 100% of it.
I use that in the spindle, just not the rapids.
I thought the exact same, so I changed the macro that the tool thing calls. So it rapids up to like 90% of the travel and then slows right down. Does this tool change slow? And Same thing. I was like, this thing is sounding like a car crash every tool change. So
wasn't your machine over traveling, Curt? When it was doing,
I don't know if it's over traveling or doing something. It still does it occasionally, but putting that little bit of code where just slowed down like a millimeter earlier helped a ton.
Yeah. My HMI crashed yesterday.
I have changed the parameters of the travels. Like, I think that this X5 is meant to be like 300, but it sort of goes 5 mil one way and a little bit extra and 310 the other way. So I've got about 320 now.
Nice.
So when I mount those big blocks on the machine, if you're out that little bit, I'm like, I am not breaking the set down. Like, how far can I push the O travel? And I'll change the parameter to make it work.
That's brilliant. I had my HMI crash on the LK yesterday. It's now the third time it's happened in the year and a half or 2 years I've had the machine. So it pops up an error message. HMI has encountered an unrecoverable problem. You're a power cycle machine.
Oh.
But it's usually when I'm pushing and pulling code and doing stupid shit. Like resetting a machine mid-cycle and then trying to load code instantly, and then it goes and doesn't enjoy it. But a little bit terrifying. Anyway, cool. So thank you everybody for listening. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. There's links in the doobly-doo to find Noddy Performance, and we will see you guys next week. And the after show will be recorded at a different time. We're also going to can an episode for fun, so it should be entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, thanks, Noddy, for giving us your time, and thank you.
All good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Yeah,
No
as
problem.
always. Take care, all.